It's Vlogmas Day 1! Hey, what's up? It's Shamiriel. It's the first day of Vlogmas. We're working from home. I'm actually in class today. We're on break. I'll get into all the particulars of that later. We have 25 days ahead of us, so we'll get into that. But yeah, I just wanted to come over here and say, hey, what you are about to watch is a Q&A. It's a combination of questions I asked y'all to ask me, and I answered them, and then it's also a combo of some questions I found online. A little story time behind that. The version you're about to see is the first version. I kind of didn't like how it turned out, only because I was borderline hangry, and so I was kind of almost rushing through it, but not really. You'll kind of see. And so then I did it again. I did it again, not only because, again, I was like, oh, you're kind of hangry. Maybe you should wait until you're on a full stomach and, you know, whatever. But then also, I lost those clips from the original version. So I did it again. And now I can't find the clips from the second version. But I found the clips from the first version, so that's what you're going to get. I guess it's more authentic all over the place, me. I don't know if that's good or bad. But if you've been here before, you already know. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. And if you asked me a question a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure how long ago it was, I answer it here. So thank you for taking the time to watch. This is day one. I am going to do a combination of daily uploads and a couple of days strung together. So you'll see what I mean. Again, this is obviously day one. I've said it multiple times. And then maybe on Saturday, you'll get a couple of days together. I'm winging it, which as of late, I've been questioning if that's the right way to go about it. We'll see. Okay, again, thank you for taking the time to watch. Hope y'all are having a good day. Happy December. And I'll see y'all later. We are doing an updated Ask Me Anything. I posed the question to ask me questions on Instagram, on YouTube. I got on the internets, and we're gonna answer some questions. It's been a while since I did a video like this, so I figured, why not? Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive in. If you're not already subscribed, please be sure to do that. Don't ask me why I am not ready. Why is no one ready? Hey, that's my favorite, one of my favorite quotes from The Devil Wears Prada. So, yeah, I'm going to take a couple of questions that were submitted, and then we're going to read some of the ones I Googled. Here's a fun list of deep and fun questions nobody asks. The first question is about hair. I would like to know if you transitioned from relaxed to natural. If so, how did you do it without big chopping? Okay, so I just started growing it out, and I would press my roots. I did have a sew-in for a couple of weeks, months, not sure how long I had my sew-in in. If I can find a picture of me with the sew-in in, I'll show you. So I did sew-ins, I did braids, and I just let it grow out. I would get my hair pressed in between, so, you know, wash it. You could see the curls coming and the relaxed hair growing out. And okay, Google, stop doing that. Okay, I have a timer on because I'm trying to make something to eat. Anyway, yeah, I just grew it out. So with the help of braids, sew-ins, and just pressing in between is how I became fully natural. And I don't think I'll ever go back to relaxers, she says with conviction. I don't know. I don't see it happening. Although, another random funny story time, I got my hair done a couple of weeks ago, And I was scratching my head, and I was like, stop scratching your head. You're getting your hair done tomorrow. And I was like, girl, you ain't had a perm in how long? You over here talking about stop scratching your scalp. I just thought that was funny. What is the phrase? Old habits die hard. So there's that. Okay, so that's the first question. The second question, from your former life, what's one news story experience that sticks with you / haunts you the most, and why? It's a great question. There are a couple. Sticks with me. I remember doing this story about a guy who had, he was in Huntsville, Alabama, and he had one of those underground, like tornado shelters. And it sticks with me because he was such a nice guy. He and his wife, and they were like, you don't have anybody here? And I was like, no, I just came here for the job. So they kind of took me in. I actually probably need to reach out to him and make sure he's okay, because it's been a while since I talked to him. But my point is, the story sticks out to me because he was such a nice person. And when he realized that I was, basically in Alabama without anyone really, he and his wife were like, come have Thanksgiving with us. And here's our son-in-law and our daughter and our kids. And I just thought that was really sweet that they kind of saw like, oh, look at this sad lonely girl, whatever. So that stuck out to me, and also because the day I did the story about him, I stuttered terribly on air. I'm so glad I was on air before YouTube was popular, because that's one of those stutters that would have made like some YouTube blooper reel. And I remember being so embarrassed, like, of all the stories for me to stutter on is someone who I actually connected with. And I remember the camera guy. So imagine this is the camera, okay? I'm the photographer, you're the reporter, you're me. So I'm behind the camera stuttering, and then all of a sudden you see so I'm over here dying on live TV, and my photographer's looking at me like, bitch, you okay? So that's one that stands out to me for those reasons. Haunts me. There's one in particular that stands out as haunting. I told a lot of sad stories, which is one of the reasons why I left TV news, because I got tired of meeting people on their worst day. I got tired of being like, I know someone close to you passed away. Don't you want to talk to me about it? That's not the type of... I clearly didn't have the skin for it. The skin? Whatever. I'm not in it anymore. I remember there was a really big story out of, it wasn't Huntsville, but it was maybe Madison, where this girl was killed. I want to say either she was pregnant or she had a young child. I think she was pregnant. So she was killed, and I want to say like some of her friends were killed too. It was a really confusing scene. And then the guys who did it, I think they went on the run or something. It was a crazy story, and I can't even really remember the reasoning behind it. I have the story on my other YouTube account where I just did my news stories. And yeah, it was just really sad, and just being on the scene and being so close to her family, and you could hear her mother screaming and crying, and just, but you're there working. I can hear you, I can hear the pain in your voice, but I'm hoping you'll give me a soundbite later. And that's the type of stuff that I hated about my job. Like, why can't I just leave these people alone? Why do I have to turn my camera? Well, I mean, you don't have to, but why is it good to get people grieving on camera? Like, that type of stuff, I hate it. So that story, because the girl was so young, and then again, just the screams of the mother, that's not something you forget. I also remember, that was in Alabama, there was a story in Raleigh where, was it Raleigh? Yeah, there were 2 college students who got killed in a car crash, and they were really young too. And so it's just one of those things, like, you just come in contact with death so often. And I just remember going on campus, I want to say they were Shaw students, and having to go on campus and see if you can find somebody who knew her. Talk to me about your friend who's dead. That's not what you say to the people, but that's basically what you're trying to do. And that story kind of hit close to home, just again, because they were 2 young black girls who are now gone that meant something to people. So those are ones that haunt me And yeah. Okay. We're going to move on. It got kind of dark. If for some reason your life got turned into a movie, which actress plays you in a movie? I don't know young actresses. Well, the only one who I can think of is Keke Palmer. But then I was like, is there anybody who looks like me? Maybe Haley? What's the Bailey girl? Is it Hallie or Haley Bailey? Hallie Bailey? It's Chloe's sister. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Although can she act well? I don't know. I don't watch Grownish. I don't know. Those are the only young actresses I can think of at the moment who might do a good job of playing me in a movie. Just be sad and you'll nail it. What made you the happiest you've ever been in the last handful of years? Sadly, I don't think I have an answer to that question. The last couple of years have been rough, you know, with the Ponderosa, and then in 2019, I went through that breakup that, you know, took years to heal from, and yeah, I don't have anything. I mean, I had a slight glimmer of hope a couple months ago when I went horse riding. Yeah, we'll do that so it won't sound so depressed. So we'll go with that. Okay. What else we got? What made you want to be a reporter? Are we being 1,000% honest here? I wanted to be on TV. Another story time. I was in college. I was going to major in music. And then my dad was like, what kind of job are you going to get majoring in music? And I was like, great question. Don't have the answer to that. And so I was undecided on my major first semester freshman year. Second semester freshman year, I got a different roommate, and she was asking me about my major, and I was like, yeah, I don't have one. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, why don't you major in mass communications? You can be on TV. And I was like, okay. And that's literally how it came to be. I've always been someone who liked to write. I thought that I was going to be like a songwriter type person. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just change writing songs into writing news stories. I was like, as long as I'm writing, I'll be fine. So that's literally how it came to be. I wanted to be on TV. Which is probably why I'm no longer in it. Because I think real reporters, people who actually, I mean, it felt good to make a difference. And it felt good to help people when you could, or, you know, to be an example for people, or to represent a certain group that, you know, may not often get its shine. But the root of the issue or not the issue, the root of it for when I first was I wanted to be on TV. Okay, how do you feel when people ask you why you don't have children? Honestly, no one asks me that. I think no one asks me that. If anything, they ask, why aren't I married? Because I'm crazy. I mean, whatever. But no one asks me that. And I would be like, are you going to pay for them? Because them things expensive. So I don't feel the way because I don't get asked that. But if I did, I'd probably, again, reply with something smart like, are you going to pay for them? Okay, there were more questions. Hold on. What are your 2 favorite red lipsticks? Ugh. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one, girl. What are my 2 favorite red lipsticks? I think of is it Cherry Blossom by Beauty Bakery, because I remember it's a matte red. It dries matte, duh, and it lasts a while. So it's either cherry. I think it's Cherry Blossom. I don't know what I just said, but I think it's Cherry Blossom by Beauty Bakery. Another red that I like. I can't think of it off the top, but I'll put it somewhere here. Do you want to buy a house? Yes. If you've watched any of my vlogs, you've heard me complain multiple times about the people who live above me. I do not like them. They just moved in a couple of months ago, so it's safe to say that I'm going to be dealing with them until my lease is up, because my leasing office is trash and they know that I have issues with them and they're not doing anything about it. But all of that to say, yes, I thought I'd have a house by now, but I don't. So we're working on it or something. I don't know. What's your dream job / career? Honey, I do not dream of labor. Y'all seen that video, right? It's something on Instagram. Some guy who's like, stop asking me about my dream job, darling. I do not dream of labor. But I mean, my dream job honestly would be kind of like that of a Kardashian, where someone just pays me to live my life. I don't want to have to do any, I don't want to have to get up and be any, I mean, getting up and being places isn't always bad, but like literally just getting paid to live my life like a Kardashian would be my dream career, where I'm also like, what do you do? Oh, right, you don't do anything. You live your life and you get money for it. Cool, cool, cool. So that would be it. Or maybe I would say a beauty vlogger, which is that you already know, because then you just make your own, you know, you set the tone for what you're trying to do with your life. Back in the day, I used to want to be Beyonce before Beyonce was Beyonce, because I like to sing, I like to dance. I used to love Ghost Rider and Barney and Sister and whatever other shows had singing and dancing. I remember writing into Barney and being like, I know all the songs, so can I be on the show? Like, so I always thought that I'd be doing something in entertainment, because that was my personality growing up. Do you see yourself leaving Atlanta at some point? This is honestly something I go back and forth about. I definitely considered leaving Atlanta after my breakup in 2019, because I came here for the person that I ended up not being with. So I was like, well, why am I here? You know, I thought about going back to North Carolina, but then I'm like, no. I thought about Texas. I thought about California, because that's one good thing about not having kids. I mean, not saying people with kids can't move around, but my point is I have nothing keeping me anywhere, so I can go wherever. So I thought about Texas, California. I even considered DC for like 5 seconds, but I was like, no, cold. I don't do cold. Ooh, I've lately been considering Florida, only because of the weather. Nothing else about Florida attracts me, but I've thought about it. I would need the money to be right and the career to be right. But as of right now, Atlanta is it. If I'm going to buy a house, it's going to be in Atlanta. I feel like I should sound more excited about that. I don't know. Now I'm going to read off some. It's a lot of questions on the sheet. It's 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. This is just 2 pages. All right. So I'm just going to do. I realized I printed out, if you include front and back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages worth of questions. And I'm not going to do that, because I think a lot of the tag questions I answered in my last Get to Know Me video. So I'm just going to do the funny and deep ones. So, okay, and I'm going to try to keep my story times short, if non-existent, because I'm hungry. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Monroe, North Carolina. It's near Charlotte. What is the earliest memory you have? I don't know. What would you do with the money if you won the lottery? I pay off my parents' house, buy myself a house, buy myself a new car, pay off my student loan debt. Probably buy something for my nephews and nieces. Invest, save. Ooh, buy me some red bottoms and Louis bags. You already know. Stuff like that. Travel, that part. What could you have done to make today more productive? Eat, because I'm hungry. So that's going to happen when I'm done. Do you need to be tucked in to fall asleep, or can you fall asleep anyhow? Okay, first of all, who's an adult that's getting tucked in? No, I just fall asleep. If you had to wear one item forever, what would it be? Underwear? No, socks, because my feet are always cold. Socks, I guess. Which cartoons do you still watch? Does Family Guy count, even though it's for adults? If we're talking children's cartoons, I know the last cartoon I did watch was X-Men. I want to say they have it on Disney Plus, because I used to be about that life, Saturday morning cartoons. So we'll say X-Men for childhood, Family Guy for adulthood. What show do you wish could come back from your childhood? First thing that came up was Sister Sister, but I don't know if I mean that. Yeah, we'll go with Sister Sister, or maybe Ghost Rider. I used to love that show. Yeah, we'll say one of those. If you could have one talent, what would it be? I mean, if I could have one talent, what would it be? I don't know. I don't know if that's a talent. If I could have one talent, what would it be? I don't know. Play the piano better. That's a terrible answer, only because I can already play, but I said better. So we'll just go with that. Would you rather eat or drink your calories? Eat them. Would you rather someone go through your phone, text messages and all, or go through your internet history? Internet history. Yeah, internet history. If only you and one other person were the last human beings alive, who would you want the other person to be? I'd say my sister. Either my sister or my dad. Does it have to be family? Because I'm just thinking if we're the last human beings, you know, I don't know if you would necessarily want it to be someone you're related to. You know what I'm saying? We'll move on. If you had to choose never to use Twitter, and Instagram, or YouTube again, which one would you let go? That's hard, especially considering how Instagram be going down every other month, every other couple of months. I like YouTube because you learn so much. I guess I have to say bye to Twitter, but I like Twitter. I love to go to Twitter on the nights when my shows come on. So Married at First Sight, I love to go to Twitter and see what the people are talking about. After Love After Lockup, after Real Housewives, just any of my shows, I just like to go and search and just see what the people are talking about on Twitter. But if I had to choose, I'd have to say bye to Twitter. I'm sorry. If you had to choose, how would you want to get famous? How would I want to get famous? I guess through hard work, and then somebody discovers your talents that way, or just, you know, hard work and through persistence, I guess. Not through like a sex tape. Shade. Which languages do you speak? English, Spanglish, and shade. Which languages do you wish to speak? I wish I spoke fluent Spanish. I wish I spoke either Yoruba, Xhosa, just some kind of African language, because I would feel more in touch with the ancestors if I did that. But I don't have anybody to talk to in any of the languages that I wish I just spoke. If you could choose which time would you go back to? None. I'm not white. If you had a time machine, would you rather go back in time or into the future? Again, I'm not white, so I would not want to go back in time. I go into the future. The power to communicate with animals or the power to communicate with plants? Animals. Like I'm talking to a plant for. What is your usual bedtime? Between 11 and 11:30. If my mind isn't pew, 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 pew. If that's the case, 12:30. What is an irrational fear you had as a child? The dark. I was scared of the dark. What is something silly you believed as a child? I believed that I was the only person who pooped, because my sister told me that I was. And she said that she didn't poop, and if I pooped, something was wrong with me. And so I thought for however long that something was wrong with me. What did you want to be when you were a kid? I kind of already answered that. I wanted to be Beyonce before Beyonce was Beyonce, because again, I like to sing, I like to dance. I thought I could act. I would be, you know, I would learn line, or you know how you can record, you know, back in the day you record stuff on your VHS and you watch it over and over again. So I would be a certain character and then, you know, playing as if I was that person. And then y'all know what I'm saying. I was very obsessed with Little Mermaid. So I knew all the songs and singing and dancing and all that. So I thought I would be an entertainer when I grew up to some extent. And then when I got older and realized that probably wasn't going to happen, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be a songwriter like old girl who wrote Break My Heart, and, you know, make money being behind the scenes. And then no. If the kid version of you were to meet you now, how would they react? Fine, I guess. And I would need to know what kid version, because I would need her to be at least like 8 for me to be able to tolerate her. Let me stop. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to think she'd be like, oh, I grew up pretty. And I'd be like, yeah, you did. Would you say you have more of an English brain than a math brain? Absolutely. I was terrible at math, terrible at science in school, but I got A's in English. So absolutely hate math. I still use a calculator on my phone, because don't make me add anything ever. And definitely don't make me try to figure out what 20% off of something is, because I don't know. What was the last movie you watched? I just watched Queen of the Damned, which now that you know what? I'm going to go on a mini little rant here. So, okay. Did anybody notice the fact that the queen, the mother of vampires, was a black woman? She was from Egypt, so she was black. She was African. She was the mother of the creation of all the vampires, and how she died at the end. Who killed her? That's all I'm saying. But yes, I watched Queen of the Damned because it was on Hulu, and you know that was Aaliyah's last movie, and y'all know I love Aaliyah. So what was the last movie that made you cry? I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't have anything for that one. Have you ever been so happy that you cried? No. Have you ever won anything? If so, what? I won a book. I mentioned that in my last vlog. It's called Please Don't Sit on My Bed in Your Outside Clothes. A couple years ago, I won a box of makeup from actually the same person who was doing the giveaway of the book. So, oh, and then years ago, I won, I entered a raffle on a cruise ship and won some like excursions for that, so that was cool. Would you ever go on a blind date? Only if the person who's referring me on the date knows what I like. If you don't know what I like, don't be saying mm-mm. So it would have to be from a trusted person. Do you mind getting famous even if it's from bad do you mind getting famous even if it's from bad publicity? Yes. I wouldn't want to get famous that way. Yeah, that's basically it. A lot of these other questions were dumb. Like, what's your favorite moment in history? It was 50 questions, and I have some of them blocked off. Like, what's your favorite moment in history? Huh? What country do you wish you were from? Whichever one my ancestors were taken from. Why, Shamiriel? But for real, I wish I was from there, like directly, but you know. What song do you not know the lyrics to but like to sing anyway? I don't know. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope that gives you a little more insight as to me. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. As I said, I'm going to link to my last Q&A either in the bottom box or maybe it'll be one of those card things or whatever, but yeah. That's about it. A couple more. Can you do a split? No, not anymore. Can you whistle? Yes. Can you dance? Yes, I'm black. Do you sing in the shower? Absolutely. Do you sleep with the lights on or off? Off, but with the night light. Do you prefer that people shoot straight with you or temper their words? Temper their words, because I'm a Cancer and I'm sensitive and I will cry. Do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? The Notebook. Do you have a tattoo? I have 4, and I'm considering, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. I'm considering getting a 5th one on my birthday next year. Do you have a whole lot of acquaintances, or just very few close friends? I have a whole lot of acquaintances. I'm realizing that as I get older. What is your favorite fairy tale? I guess Little Mermaid. What's your favorite snack? It's too many to name. Favorite song? Too many to name. Favorite sport? Cheerleading. It's a sport. Argue with your mama. What was your favorite subject in high school? I have one. What was your least favorite? Math and science. What was your favorite TV show? I already went through that. Are you scared of heights? Yes. Are you high maintenance? Yes. Are you a dog or a cat person? Dog person. Are you a fan of any sports team? No. Well, technically, by way of my dad, yeah, I guess. Are you a good cook? No. Who is your favorite actor? Denzel is the first person that popped up. Who is your favorite actress? It's too many. Carrie, Washington, Angela Bassett, Viola Davis. Yes, those are the ones that popped up. Which of your parents are you closest to? My dad. Which of your parents are you more like? My mom. If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to? I think, yeah, I feel like I answered that question before. I used to want people to call me Lacole, not Nicole. Lacole, Lacole. So, yeah, that's it. I don't know how long I've been talking, but I feel like it's been a minute. My stomach is hating me, and I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. So, just a little random, fun and deep questions nobody asks. So, hopefully that helped. And I'm very thirsty and hungry. So, I hope y'all are having a good day. And until my next video, I'll see you later. Bye.